America, you're wrong in the way you have treated 30 to 40 million black people. America, you are wrong. You're wrong for the way you treat the poor in this society. America, you are wrong. You're wrong to spend billions of dollars to give homes to Jews who are refugees from Russia, while your own citizens are living under bridges and in cardboard boxes, and the homeless continue to grow. You're wrong, America. I remember when I was a young boy, there was a man on radio, his name was Gabriel Heedham. And he would come on saying, there's good news tonight. People want to hear something good. We know that the world is evil, but can't you find something good? Isn't there something good in the American people? Isn't there something good to focus on? Because the more you feed evil, you promote evil. The more you feed good, you promote good. So now, America is eating at the slop trough. Pete, what's the latest news? Have you heard? Child, I saw it on the front page. The top of the news tonight. But look at the fruit of it. You have a public that is losing confidence in the institutions that make America what it is. You have a public that is losing confidence in the Congress. A public losing confidence in democracy. In the last presidential election, less than half of those qualified to vote bothered to vote. If the greatest gift in a democracy is the right to vote, and less than half of those qualified to vote took part in a presidential election, can't you see? Can't you see that the American people are losing confidence?
Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm hoping that you are doing great from wherever you're watching me from. As you know, I'm your host and presenter, Eugene Stories, and I'm thinking that this is a great important video that we need to discuss. Now, oftentimes, Mr. Louis Farrakhan has not been seen like lightly in the image, especially the mainstream media, how it has viewed Minister Louis Farrakhan. But I think it's for one reason. It is because he exposes the truth, and the truth that the world doesn't want to hear. But this is important because most of the things that he said, we might actually right now listen to a lot of economics professors, geopolitical analysts, how they talk about the United States. But there's one thing which still stands about Mr. Louis Farrakhan. Remember, he said this long time ago. But remember when he said this was considered so controversial. And somehow he was banned from the social media for saying the truth. But what if I told you that a number of things that he's saying or that he's sharing today with us are the things that most of people in the United States are going through? Let's talk about the crumbling empire. Let's talk about the country which supports violence, warfare in other countries. Let's talk about the country that pushes consumerism. Let's talk about a country that pushes a lot of social media consumption, like not productive ones, but less productive, negative ones. A society that pushes conflict. A society that doesn't care about the bottom 99%. They always want to increase the wage gaps between the rich and the poor. They want to maintain the social structure, the structure that's, I'm talking about the elites who are running the United States. But how can they run the United States? They have their machinery. How they make this work so perfectly so that you, as a citizen of the United States, you can fail. And this is being done knowingly. When we talk about the plight of black people, black Americans from the United States, they are a group of people that have seen a lot of problems in the United States. First, they started as people who are working for the whites. They built the United States through sweat and blood, and they made it possible for them and to this happen. When that was not enough, we have a lot of revolution that came and people wanted to do away with the slavery. One thing that makes America so hypocritical is the sense that we question why the people that claim that they ended slavery, are the people that brought slavery. It's like creating a disease and coming up with a cure for it, and then saying that you're the one who invented the cure for the disease. That's the perfect example of the United States. I don't want to say much. Whatever Minister Louis Farrakhan says in this video really makes sense. And he questioned America as a general. America has failed its citizens. The American government has failed its citizens. The American elites has failed its citizens. The sovereign elites know what they're doing, and it's working for them. And they'll always try to maintain the status quo. And that is how it has always been, dating back during the Black Arms Rebellion, when they tried to divide black people from white people, and they made it possible by creating what is called race. They created what is called whiteness, and they put these things, the divisiveness that brought all this division that we are seeing right today. I just watched this video by Minister Louis Farrakhan. It is so much important for us to have these discussions because it's really important. Where I'm seeing the United States is heading, we need to have this serious discussion. Talk about revolution. When can we have revolution? The crazy things that are happening today are things that Minister Louis Farrakhan somehow, somewhere said them, and it was considered so controversial. So buckle up for this video. I hope you all get to learn and see the perspective that I'm going to be sharing with you at the end of the video. But until then, let's read the video. I'll be back with my commentary.
And as they lose confidence in leadership, they're now losing confidence in the institutions that undergird and teach morality to the American people. The church has lost its credibility among the people. There was a time when you said, I'm Father so-and-so, I'm Reverend so-and-so. That meant something. But today, the young will come into church and rob the preacher and his congregation because they see the preacher as a pimp hustling the people rather than bringing them real salvation. They see the politicians the same. They see education as not working because the people who are educated can't solve the problems, the complex problems of the society. So the people are losing confidence. This is not just black people. White people are losing confidence in government. Ross Perot tapped into this big vein of dissatisfaction. And even though he backed out and then at the last minute came back, he garnered 19% of the vote, which was historic. So whoever wanted to be president had to come and kiss the ring of Ross Perot, who had tapped into this large body of dissatisfied Americans. Dissatisfaction must bring about a change. Clinton became president because in him the dissatisfied saw perhaps change. A young man And now whatever he's done that you don't like, you're beating him up now. Tearing him to pieces. And after you shred him, who else you gonna put in? Mr. Dole is getting ready. Mr. Kemp is getting ready. Some others are getting ready to inherit what? What you've destroyed. The country is in bad shape. Hollywood is further corrupting the people. When I was a youngster and went to the movies, my mother could give me a dime or a quarter. You know, that was a long time ago. And I could go to the movies on Saturday with a quarter, see a movie, get some popcorn, and still have a little left over.
Right.
It's true. It's true. That was a long time ago. I know I don't look it. I know. You see, the beauty of trying to live right, trying to live clean, and trying to have wholesome thoughts is that it defeats the process of aging.
Talk, minister.
I won't get into that now. But I am deeply concerned at the destruction of the church as a moral force in the society. There have always been corrupt priests, corrupt ministers, corrupt rabbis, corrupt sheikhs, mullahs, imams. But when you take the corrupt one out and focus on the corrupt one, you begin to make the people believe that the whole thing is as this one. Then Hollywood has gradually degenerated film in the name of reality. A person's bedroom should be private. I mean, if you're a decent human being, you don't say to your wife, not your brother's wife, your wife, "Come, darling, let's go into the bedroom and open the doors and let the whole world see what we do, how we do."
Teach me. Teach.
Sex is private.
That's right.
It is the act that God ordained, not between consenting adults, but between mature, sober-minded individuals whose love for one another has reached the point where they are willing to make a lifelong commitment to each other, and their coming together repeats the words of God found in the Genesis. "Come, baby, let us make man." Huh? That's private. There's a song I used to sing, "Ain't nobody's business if I do or what I do." But since J. Edgar Hoover liked to peep, they must have named the Hoover vacuum cleaner after him because the Hoover vacuum cleaner seems to suck up all the dirt. J. Edgar Hoover was busy trying to find all the dirt he could find on anybody, and naturally the place that he looked was where? The bedroom. Now I don't know what movie to go to. You take your children to a movie, your wife to a movie, unless you've been thoroughly desensitized, you're embarrassed. Now I'm brought into somebody's madness. My little girl children, my little boy children hear the foulest language. If I don't use it in the home, it makes no difference. I take them to the movie or I just turn on my television now. When I was in show business and was a calypso singer and dancer where you move your hips and other things and whatnot, I remember when I was on television on the Ernie Kovacs show, you've heard of him. And when they put the camera on me, I had one of these kind of, Cuban shirts, and it's kind of open in the front and big puff sleeves. And I was, I was doing what I was doing. But they kept that camera from here up. And they told me afterwards, say, we cannot show that on the screen.
Listen up.
There was a level of decency. Today, please. Can you imagine a woman on television with a string? Feet on TV. Your underwear, sisters, that's your business. That's why they call it underclothes. Because what you got over, what is under, ain't nobody's business but your own. Now they're saying, well, hey, on TV, look at my underwear. I wear, you ain't even got nothing on till I get my hands on you. So you see women parading with no clothes on. What does this do? It begins to take away the natural shyness, the natural shame of a woman to be exposed. So you don't care anymore. You're a shyless, shameless creature. You go into public half nude. You don't care. You want men to see your bosom. You want men to see your backside. You want men to drool at your body. So what did you marry? You married somebody that lusted over your bosom, lusted over your backside, and when he discovered every square inch of it, then he went looking for somebody else's. Don't you want a man to love you for you?
Yeah.
He never gets acquainted with the vast infinity of your mind. He's dumb enough to believe that sex is the be-all and end-all of relationships.
You preaching on it.
But tell him, sister. Tell him. The sex act only lasts 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes. Some of you may feel you stallions. But hell, after an hour, two, there's 22 more hours. What are you going to do? What are you going to do with her head? What are you going to do with her heart?
Preach, Master, preach.
The country is gone to hell. America is worse than Sodom and Gomorrah.
Listen.
If Lot came back and saw Columbus, he wouldn't even have to go to Atlanta. And don't even think about San Francisco.
Right.
If Lot just came to Columbus, he'd say, God, take me. I thought Sodom and Gomorrah was bad, but Columbus. You've so undermined morals that the people take their low desires now for a God beside God. I do what I want to do.
That's what they say.
Don't nobody tell me. So your country is in decline. I was only trying to point out that $50 million to sustain an educational plantation is to ensure that his children will be on top 50 or 100 more years in the future. So while it looks like a philanthropic act and may very well be, but to maintain a system that is not educating is only perpetuating the madness that is before the American people.
Right, Brother Master. That's right.
And so, Columbus, the question then becomes, what shall we do? Can we get out of this? Certainly we can. Certainly we can. By what means shall we get out of the condition that we're in? Can America be saved? Yes. But the hour is late, America. And if you don't do what truth demands, then you're finished. You will go the same way that Rome went, Babylon went, Sodom and Gomorrah went. God's hand of judgment right now is on America.
Right.
This is why nature seems to have gone wild. It's the hand of God telling you, I'm displeased. And the book says, nation will rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. There will be wars and rumors of wars. There will be famine and pestilence and earthquakes in diverse places, but these are just the beginning of sorrows. And then it talks about our personal relationship, how we would betray one another, deliver one another up. All of this is going on right now. The end of this kind of world is come. And Clinton can't lead you out of it. God don't send politicians to deliver people. He anoints his servants, the prophets, the apostles, the messengers, to warn the people. Whether you hear or forbear, that is on you. America, you're wrong in the way you have treated 30 to 40 million black people. America, you are wrong. You're wrong for the way you treat the poor in this society. America, you are wrong. You're wrong to spend billions of dollars to give homes to Jews who are refugees from Russia, while your own citizens are living under bridges and in cardboard boxes, and the homeless continue to grow. You're wrong, America. You're wrong, America, to lie to the people. And the Tonkin Gulf resolution was based on a lie that caused 500,000 Americans to go to war in Vietnam on the base of a lie. Thousands lost their lives. Hundreds and thousands more were wounded. And many thousands more came back from Vietnam incapacitated, and they're not straight today on the base of a lie. You're wrong, America. You're wrong to treat your veterans of foreign wars who have built the country like second-class citizens. You're wrong, America. You're wrong to produce a society like this. You systematically pull the female out of the house. You disturb the economic balance by creating an enemy in Russia. It was Americans who financed the Bolshevik Revolution that brought the communists into power. Listen, America. You set up the two camps, and then an arms race took place. And America had to borrow money to build bigger rockets. Russia had to borrow money to build bigger rockets. And now, after 40 years of a Cold War, the taxpayers' money in atomic weapons that you now have to destroy and dismantle. And what have the poor gotten out of this? Nothing. Who will speak for the poor in America? Kennedy is a man from the rich. Clinton was not exactly rich, but he certainly didn't know poverty like we know it.
Right.
Who will speak for the poor? They don't have any voice in this society. Congress doesn't represent the poor. Congress represents the special interests, the lobbyists, the people that can help them get reelected while the masses suffer. You fight, you bleed, you die for a country, and you get sick, and you go to a hospital and they tell you, if you don't have insurance, we can't take you.
That's what they say. That's right. Go ahead now.
They're borrowing Social Security, borrowing from pension funds to pay America's indebtedness. So some of you that are young today, when you think it's time for you to retire and live off of your retirement, you may find there ain't no money there. America, you're wrong. And somebody got to help you get right. You're angry with Farrakhan. What have I done? You call me a hater. You call me an anti-Semite. I've never harmed one Jewish person, one white person. I've never touched a hair of your head.
Right.
Nobody who follows me has ever done that.
Right.
So if I'm a hate teacher, why can't you show me some actions that we have taken that have destroyed your synagogues, burned your homes? We have done none of that. What is it that you're afraid of? Did you think that they thought this number of people would be out in Columbus, Georgia? Suppose it were a free event. You wouldn't have been able to get near here. But each one of you paid $10. Some paid 15. And they didn't pay that to hear a singer of songs or to be entertained. They came because something in them is touched by something in me. Some came out of curiosity because they want to know, why are white people frightened of Farrakhan? What is it about me that you're afraid of? I've never been a violent person. I will soon be 61 years of age. I have never been arrested in my life. Go back and search my record from grammar school all the way up. I was always a good student. Never was in any trouble. Do you think I got to be 61 years of age now and I'm going to be a troublemaker? However, God gifted me with a heart of deep love for my people and deep love for the suffering of human beings. It's not hate that drives me. It's love that drives me. It's not hate of white people that makes me come and risk my life. It's love of God, love of truth, and love of you that makes me do so. But just as the wicked hated Jesus without a cause, listen. He was not an evil man, but they tried to make him look evil to justify what those in authority wanted to do, because the people were going after Jesus. What are you afraid of? You're afraid because a black man that you don't control, a black man that you don't control, is calling black people, Hispanic people, and white people, and they are responding. Some of you don't mind black people responding to me. But what you're frightened to death of is that poor white people will hear what I have to say. Because it is they, the poor whites, that the country has been taken from. That's right. The blacks ain't never had it. So look at you. Now our great movie stars can play the role, as in the Philadelphia story, of a lawyer who disliked homosexuality. And while it's supposed to be a movie to give understanding to the plight of those who suffer from AIDS, very subtly, it is a movie that breaks down the wall of resistance to homosexuality. And if any of us speak from the books of God against the things that God disapproves of, why should we be made to feel that we are incorrect? If I'm a liar, God does not approve of that. I got to clean that up. If I'm a thief or an adulterer, God does not approve of that. I've got to clean that up. If I'm effeminate, God does not approve of that. I got to clean it up.
Go on, Minister.
So God does not like homosexuality. And he clearly says it, that it is an abomination to him. Then while you and I may engage in that, God is saying, I can accept you like that. And just as I destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah for that, and then said, as it was in the days of Lot in Sodom and Gomorrah, so shall it be at the coming of the Son of Man. Well then, I will not approve of your conduct. Do you think that you can come to Christ with a dress up by your thighs? That if you sneeze, you be naked? Can you imagine Christ returning and you slithering up to him with your bosom half out? Hey, baby, how you doing, Jesus? Oh, you back? You think he's going to accept that? Hard women trying to be men. Hey, Jesus. Glad to see you. Or big men trying to be soft. Hi, Jesus. Glad to see you. Which one of us as preachers would God accept? Trying to run through the congregation, hustling people and not elevating people, not feeding the flock and nurturing the Spirit of God in the people that would enable the people to rise against their own evil and the evil that is in society. Which one of us do you think Jesus Christ would accept? None. Which one of you would he accept? You talking about I'm better because I'm white. What you gonna do if Jesus come back and he got hair like lamb's wool and feet like brass burned in an oven? What you gonna do?
Hello folks, hello guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm hoping that you are super duper super great from wherever you're watching me from. I'm your host and presenter Jindoki Stories, and I'm hoping that you are fine. Let's talk about Mr. Farrakhan for a little. Mr. Farrakhan is a Muslim leader. For those who don't know him, majority of you black folks definitely know him. He has stood with the black community, did a lot of charities, but still there are some controversies that still run around him. His relationship with, how is this other Muslim brother? The black one, the darker one, I've forgotten his name. There's so much going on. But at the end of the day, we can't let small negative things paint the broader positive perspective that Minister Farrakhan tried to share with the people of the United States. This is something that he talked about a long time ago. And one thing I like about Minister Farrakhan is that he will always try to condemn all these things that we are happening. You know what's happening in the United States, in the United States today is what we call shame. Shame is what is happening to the people of the United States. But now, that's just that. I want us to have a critical perspective of everything that Minister Farrakhan talks about. Well, I think this is important. Let me give you some tea. Americans themselves are being confused, right? The American system is putting it and making it possible to make you confused. Every now and then, bombarding you with new fashions, music, lifestyle, pop culture, name all of it. And people are embracing this. New brands coming up. People want to buy new things. People want to keep up with the Jones. People want to keep up with all these changes. And that's the American culture. What am I talking about? I'm talking about the American consumerism. The consumerism culture of the United States makes it possible for people to have a savings culture. Remember, there was a survey that was done which shows that Majority of Americans don't have $500 in their bank account, which means that the consumerism system of the United States teaches them when money lands in your pocket, what do you think about? You think about going to buy something. Think about buying something that really you don't need. But again, there's so much bombardment of information or the things that will always come new that they want you to buy every now and then. That's the crazy part. And this is how it all gets crazy. You are made to work, wake up in the morning, go to work, come back, buy something at the end of the month. The credit card systems that is allowing people to have all these credit cards make you purchase anything anyhow without even having savings. That's how crazy it gets. And it doesn't just end at that. Americans or America itself, looking at the things that are happening today, I feel like it needs a revolution. Some folks are saying the person who is running the United States is not the problem, it's the symptom of the problem. It's working for some people. And remember, the generations that came still worked for the same folks, the elites. Then the question is, who are these oligarchs? Who are these elites who are running these places? The answer is, you know them, but at the same time, you don't know them. They're the people that laugh with you. They're the people that you buy their brands. They're the people that dictate whether they want to pay taxes in the United States or they don't want to pay taxes. These are the oligarchs. They decide how they're going to be funding the government because they have the power of lending the government money without tax. And that's how they do. And that's how I feel like most of black people, we need to get so keen. It is high time that people learn their financial life. That's the most important thing. Now, let's just leave the economic part. Let's go to the social part of all this. The rate at which the lives, the culture is eroded, the social life is going haywire. There's so much social media, which is good, but at the same time bad. Look, remember back then when people didn't have internet, when people used to go out, go in parks, socialize, talk, write letters, sing, play games. Where did that go? Especially in the United States. People are seated in restaurants, people are seated in conferences, but people are still having their phone. This is a society that doesn't appreciate the social cohesion. This is a society that doesn't appreciate the social life, how human beings should act. And these all things are altering how the human being works. The use of AI, artificial intelligence, the fact that today you don't need to go and date. You can have a robot that chats with you, answers your messages, right? These are all demolishing your social life. And that's the perspective that the United States is taking, and even the broader world today, and everything that we're seeing. So that being said, there is so much, even on a social level, that needs to be done. All in all, America has been showing all the indicators of a falling empire. Countries ditching the US dollar, trade wars and tariffs, trackers complaining about everything that is happening today, the president bringing white South Africans, the Afrikaners back in the country, all these crazy things. While at the same time, we have Americans themselves that need this opportunity, but they're not being given somehow for some reasons. There's so much that Minister Louis Farrakhan talks about that he said a long time ago that was considered illegal. But it's crazy that all these things that were considered illegal, which was considered a crime to talk about, but are the same things that are happening today. When you get to look at these different spheres that I've talked about, social, economic, political, all these things are happening. And they are happening in the face of you and I. We are getting to vision. America is making a history. But making a history in which sense? Making an history that the next coming 20 years, some kids somewhere in Africa We'll be using America as an example of an empire that fell. Honestly, I don't know. I don't wish bad for the United States. As far as I know, it is a good country, but it is not a good country at the same time. So I did have a lot to say about this, but everything that Minister Louis Farrakhan talked about, resonating with the things that are happening currently, really makes sense. Let me know what you think about this video. I'm your host and presenter Eugene Stories, and I'm hoping to see you on my next video. But until then, peace, love, and harmony. Salute.